What is the weirdest way their white lover try to tell you that they're like down with the culture?
Okay, so this was not a lover, but this was someone that I worked with. He told me that he was going to call me mocha chocolate because my skin was the deepest and darkest brown ever, and it was so beautiful. He said it was like a rich, dark chocolate. He just really took his time to emphasize how deep and dark my skin was. He also said, imagine what your dark chocolate skin would look like against my skin. And that was the last day I worked there. He fully gave me the uncomfies.
Melanated hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover try to tell you that they're like
There haven't been that many white men in my life, but this one I'll always remember. So I took a creative writing class, right? And there was this guy there, and he was just throwing game at me from like day one, right? So I was like, all right, sure, like I'll humor it, right? And then this one time during class, we were talking, and it somehow came up like, I'm not from here, like I'm from Nicaragua, right? And he was like, oh my god, I know Nicaragua, what? And I was like, oh my god, you know Nicaragua? Tell me about it. And he was like, yeah, my church went to build houses there. Bitch. That was the last time I spoke to him. We still had like a whole semester left, and I just stopped talking to him, like, never again.
Melanated hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover try to tell you that they're like
down with the culture. That's what they said. This wasn't exactly a lover, but her video reminded me of this thing that happened to me. Once this bank teller would say Punjabi phrases to me, which he told me he had written on post-it notes, which is such a concept. He would say, "Sat Sri Akal," that means hi, or "Ki hal hai," which means how are you? One time, he looked at my information and saw that my birthday was coming up and asked me if I had plans, and I was like, "Sir, I'm here to cash a check." My friend who used to be a bank teller said they are not supposed to look at your personal information like that. Like bank tellers, it's like not. Then he said, "Tusi bahut soni hai," which means you are really pretty. I was like, "Sir, I have a check to cash. This is the bank. That's what we do here."
What's the weirdest way their white lover try to tell you that they're like down with the culture, like down with brown?
So they didn't exactly tell me, but for a duration of like the relationship with my first girlfriend in college, my contact name in her phone was My Indian Prince. And to this day, I don't know how to reconcile with that. I mean, she's right, of course, but
Melanated hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover try to tell you that they're like
So it's been a minute since I entertained a flower child. The last white man I went on a few dates with called himself introducing me to J. Cole. I swear to God, if the dick wasn't bomb, still not an excuse. I really need my ass beat. I am so disappointed in myself. You cannot colonize my baby chute and my iTunes library. You just simply cannot. Pick a struggle. I've been called every iteration of chocolate, Nubian, and African queen, princess, duchess you can fucking think of. The dude told me he knew that he was invited to the cookout because he eats chitlins. I don't even eat chitlins. This shit's disgusting. Listen, I've basically been hate crime now that I think about it. My whole dating life with white men has been nothing but terrorist attack after terrorist attack. I need to see a therapist. I am a victim.
What is the weirdest way their white lover try to tell you that they're like down with the culture?
Alright, so my first girlfriend, she was a little white girl. But, you know, her friends referred to me as desert fever. Like she had desert fever. Yeah. We dated for 2 years. I don't know how that came about, but it was like, and then she called me Indian Spice. I mean, it was cute at the time, but like, hindsight is 2020.
Melanated hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down?
He said he was dying to watch me belly dance and then unwrap my sari and listen to my bangles shake as he blew my back out and then come to like Bollywood music. And I was like, okay.
What is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down with the culture, like down with...
I think I got this one. I was studying abroad in Paris back in 2015 or so, and I matched with this guy on Tinder, right? We went on a couple dates, nothing really special or anything, right? And it so happens that we like hooked up and stuff, right? After one of the, I think second time we hooked up or something, right? He like looks at me and he points at my skin and he's like, I like your skin. It's not black and it's not white. It's like in between. I like that. And I was just so uncomfortable. I didn't even know what to respond. And then he shows me his Facebook, right? And in his Facebook account, he had a picture of him with blackface. And I immediately never saw this person again. I kicked him out. And thank God, but yes, it's fucking horrible.
Melanated hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that...
So I actually have several instances of this because I went to college in Indiana at just a state that's predominantly white and I'm brown, and you know, it made for a lot of interesting interactions in college for sure. But I think one of my favorites was this guy asked me on a date. I was like, okay, we meet up for dinner. We're sitting down and he goes, you know, I've never dated an ethnic girl before. And I just, you know, was like buttering a bread roll or something. And I was like, you know what? I don't think you ever will. And I got up and I walked out because I was just like, what?
What is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down with the culture?
Okay, one time this guy literally went up to me and all he said was, I can tame you. First of all, did I roar? And he was like, I like my Latinas feisty. Sir, I'm Filipina.
Melanated hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down?
My boyfriend now called me his little Hawaiian princess and that he wants to colonize. Yeah, so that's...
Hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down?
So after we like finished practicing gymnastics, we were laying and he was like, you smell like cocoa butter. None of my people smell like cocoa butter, and they can't do the things that you do with your hair. Like, I could like go like this with it and get like a better grip. So needless to say, I never did it. Yeah.
Hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down with the...
So this man, after we like, you know, had some fun, looks me dead in my eye and goes, you know, you look like Mia Khalifa. I fuck with Mia Khalifa. And I'm like, I mean, like, I love Mia Khalifa. She's a queen. I love her. But I don't look like her in any shape, way, or form. So that's how I knew that he just had no concept of being with people who are not white. And so, yeah, love that for me.
Melanated hotties, what is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down?
Alright, this man asked me on a drive, and I was like, yeah, maybe. And he says, or we could skip the drive, and you could fulfill my hot liberal fantasies of having women of color with large breasts in my bed. And I was like, that was really cringy. He was like, why? I'm like, sir? And he's like, oh, well, I'm not racist. You could tell I have a black brother. So it's not raunchy.
What is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down with the culture?
Okay, so I met this white guy just like when I was out with my friends one night. He was super cute. I just, handsome as fuck. Long story short, we get each other's numbers. We are texting and all that. We end up hooking up several times. It's fucking great. I mean, just honestly probably some of the best sex that I've ever had in my life. Until this white man says, if I had it my way, I would only nut inside Black Ash for the rest of my life. Excuse me? So after that, I'm just like, my man, like, what do you mean? Like, are you for real? Like, why would you say that to me? Because now this whole little situation has gotta stop, and that sucks. Like, you really fucked up the game for both of us, man.
What is the weirdest way their white lover tried to tell you that they're like down with the culture?
I don't even know where to start, but I'm gonna try. So I was dating somebody who basically every time I saw him, he would share something he liked about India, such as yoga, samosas, naan bread that he buys from Trader Joe's, Bollywood, but he only ever listed Slumdog Millionaire, which is a great movie, not produced by Bollywood. And he also, I had to tell him that I'm not actually from India. My family's from Bangladesh. And he said it's the same thing, as though he knew, but he clearly didn't.
What's a hill that you're willing to die on 1,000% of the time?
I'm gonna be more than happy to die on this hill 1,002% of the time. Everybody Loves Raymond is probably the best sitcom ever created. I will punch you in the
To duet this video with your best methods to make creepy men cry.
Yes. This method is called Baby Runs for President. What you do is you use your best customer service voice to ask questions of the creep that only a toddler would feel comfortable asking. Like the time my friends and I went to a dive bar after work, and a guy who was definitely older than my dad came to sit at our high top with us. We were very uncomfortable. It was clear he was acting oblivious, but he knew. And for no reason, I whipped around and went, "Hey, how old are you?" He was like, what? And I said, well, I'm only asking because, well, you seem a little older than my dad, and I just got out of college, so I was wondering, do you have any grandkids? And I don't know if he cried, but he definitely left. Or the time my friend was getting manhandled at the bar by this bro-y bro. So I came up to him and I said, "Hey, what's your name?" He was super drunk and spacey. He goes, Jessie? And I said, "Jessie? Well, that's a girl's name, isn't it?" Now I've thrown him off his rhythm. Because gender is a construct, but he didn't know that. And again, I can't remember if he cried or not, but he definitely fucking left. As long as you're in a public space, run for president, baby.